Egypt, a history spanning over 5,000 years, with its famous faces of pharaohs and queens, and those less well known. It is instantly recognizable. I have been obsessed with this ancient civilization for almost my whole life. Join me on my journey across the length of Egypt, exploring the history and taking you into places most people have never seen before, and come face to face with the queen that I have been waiting so long to meet. Experience Egypt through my eyes with unlimited access. After many years of waiting, I am here in Egypt, and something that I've been waiting so long to see is these things, the pyramids. So I'm very excited today to be seeing them a lot closer, and yeah, come along with me. Something that's quite amazing that you look at when you're here is you've got this huge city, which is Cairo, which is the most populated city in Africa, and then you go along and you just get desert, and then you get these massive pyramids, and among the pyramids you see the rubble and the rock where you can see where they've carved the sphinx out of, and along there then you see this remnants of like ancient cities, and over there there's a staircase. So I think if you excavate this area more and just dig, you're just going to find so many amazing things.
First of all, your information about Egypt.
I know quite a lot.
Yeah.
I haven't studied anything, but I do know a lot.
That the river Nile runs from south to north.
Yeah. Lower Egypt is in the north.
Yes.
And Upper Egypt is in the south.
Yeah, because the southern part of Egypt higher than the northern part of Egypt. Most of the monuments you will find it here in the city of Cairo dates back to the Old Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because the city of Cairo was
used to be Memphis.
Yes, that's right. I was about to tell you that. Yes, the oldest capital, not only here in Egypt, but all over the whole world.
Yes.
They believe that it was the first capital, but it's not true. Because just before the time of Memphis, we had two kingdoms, each one of them had its own capital at that time. But anyway, if you are going to consider Egypt like one country, you may say that Memphis was the oldest capital all over the whole world.
Yes.
Egypt is the English name. What about the Arabic name?
Kemet.
Kemet. Great!
See, I know quite a lot.
It seems that you read a lot, yes. Okay.
And the sun god Ra, the sun rays that comes down that looks like a pyramid.
Yes.
You say it Ra, right?
Yes, Ra.
Okay, because I see the Americans like to say Ray, but it's Ra.
Ra.
That's
yes,
correct.
Because you don't have the letter I in English, so that's why the correct name is Ra.
Ra.
Yes. One of the seven wonders of the ancient world in general. However, here in Egypt we have more than 100 pyramids. Just this one considered one of the sevens because of the construction from inside and from outside.
While standing, trying to take in the fact that I'm actually looking at the Great Pyramid of Khufu in Egypt, I started getting asked by some of the tourists to take selfies. So naturally, I take the selfies, but while doing this, a vendor came along and saw that I was distracted and tried to sell me some of his souvenirs. And eventually he put a headdress on my head and then tried to make me pay for it even though I didn't ask for it. So we just decided to move on to the next pyramid of Khafra. You'll never walk off like that.
And this time it was easy. Maybe next time it will be harder. Okay?
But he just put it on my head, so...
Thank you and be aggressive with it. You are so kind. And you are so kind. So just be aggressive. No? لا شكرا and move.
Most of the white limestone casing on Khafra's pyramid was removed to help with the construction of a mosque in Cairo. There are 6 pyramids at the Giza complex, and at the base of the Great Pyramid, Djedefre buried a ship which was found intact for his father.
Djedefre buried the ship for his father.
Yeah.
The pyramids built here at Giza were all for one family, and there are 3 smaller pyramids for the queens, and then the bigger pyramids are for Khufu, Menkaure, and Khafra.
When Arabs came here, they heard about the treasures inside pyramids. So that's why they tried to make an opening leads to the burial chamber. So that's why they started to remove the stones from the middle as they found the entrance. Yes, as they found the entrance for the first pyramid in the middle.
While looking at the final pyramid of the complex, the pyramid for Menkaure, we decided it's time to do a little souvenir shopping. Right after shopping, it was time to look at some hieroglyphs which were at the base of the pyramid. Which way do you read hieroglyphs? From left to right or right to left?
It's excellent question.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think from left to right.
To make yourself happy, like English, and also you can read it from right to left as Arabic to make myself happy as well. It depends on the faces.
Yes.
If the face is looking to the right, you start from right. Face is looking to the left, you start from the left side. And you will find all the faces and the writings looking to just one direction.
I have finally arrived here at the Sphinx after a very long day touring around, and I just have to say that, you know, shopping in Cairo is definitely pretty crazy, but you can find some amazing things, and I'm about to get up close and personal with the Sphinx, so let's go. Sphinx Temple.
Yeah, it's the Sphinx Temple. It's by mistake we used to call it like the Sphinx Temple, or the Temple of the Sphinx.
What is the actual name?
Valley
Temple.
They used to build that kind of temples actually for 3 reasons. Second reason, which is mummification.
Which takes 70 days. So
70
they need a special
days.
place.
Great. Mummification. Do you know how they used to mummify their bodies after death?
Well, they would get the body, and then they would remove all the organs.
Yes, but just before they used to wash the body and leave
wash
it,
the body and
leave it
leave
for
it
a
with
while.
salt?
Leave it for a while till all the liquids get out of the body itself. Yeah. After that, make an opening, take the internal organs and put it in 4 jars.
And they would leave the heart in.
The heart, because it had great importance.
The heart is the source of
life.
soul.
That's right. Okay. And also
So
they used to
like
cover
that,
the body.
they would have a heart scarab. Right?
Yeah.
So
It
they would
refers
put
to the sun, by the way. Yeah. And sometimes you will find it like parts. Yeah.
And they would put that on top of the heart, which they used for the weighing of the hearts,
Yes.
right?
Yes. It is another way how to weigh the heart itself.
So the Nile used to run over here.
Not directly to here, but to the nearest branch, which is it's supposed to find it just behind in your hotel, just close to your
Just
hotel.
behind the hotel.
Yeah.
For many years, the Sphinx was buried under sand until Thutmose III, the stepson of Queen Hatshepsut, actually came to Giza. He fell asleep, and while sleeping, he had a dream that the Sphinx came alive and spoke to him and said, "Clear away the sand from my body." The Sphinx Valley Temple was constructed out of pink granite, which was quarried from Aswan, and inside this temple, between each of the columns, they found a solid marble statue of Pharaoh Khafra. The Sphinx was meant to be the protector of the sacred place.
That's right. That's right. It became the protector, or it became the guardians after they found such like this statue, because it was the first and the biggest Sphinx we have in Egypt. Who broke the nose? Great. Sa'im al-Dabihi, Arabian army general, came here. He believed that the Egyptian still worshipping. By the end of the story, he just broke the nose.
And they believed that if you deface the statue, it's out of history. black pyramids here in the desert at sunset. So it's really amazing to see these ancient monuments that have been here for 5,000 years. Today is my 22nd birthday and it's amazing to be spending it here in Egypt. And today I was meant to meet Dr. Zaki Hawass, but unfortunately he is in Mansoura doing a lecture. But I did receive a very nice email from Zaki wishing me a very happy birthday and wishing me also good luck with my film at the film festival. One of the most important things here at the museum is the Narmer palette, which is showing the unification of Lower and Upper Egypt. It is also the world's first ever written document. That's Ramses and Nefertari.
Yes, that's right.
You cannot go anywhere here in Egypt without being greeted by the golden couple, Ramses and Nefertari. Actually, here inside the Egyptian Museum, there are over 120,000 items to be seen.
Years BC. It was the first one to build pyramid here in Egypt.
They're going to go to Saqqara to see it?
Yes. Here they discovered the yellow color, but not yet. They didn't arrive to the blue or the green colors.
Which are the most expensive.
Yeah. Yes. And actually it is a lot. We still count the myself. See this statue, and this time you tell me, is he a king?
Or the priest?
Mayor.
Mayor.
Mayor, yes. Not a king. Why? There is a belly, a kind of deformity.
He's not shown perfect.
So human, yes, it's not a perfect form. The sun rays entered his tomb and his eyes reflected the sun rays.
Wow.
So the workmen at the time were afraid, escaped, and they believed that there is a real
cursed.
Yes. Since some time we started to believe it's Egyptian.
The Ka was the spirit.
Yes.
Ba was the living.
That's right.
And A was like the divine. Yes. And this is the chair for Khufu's mother.
Yes.
Khufu's mother's chair. This is the chair for Khufu's mother, which they found at the base of the pyramid in her tomb. And it's absolutely amazing to look at this because this is almost 5,000 years old and it's just perfect still. It's actually quite ironic that this tiny little statue is of the owner of the Great Pyramid, Pharaoh Khufu. It is the only image that still remains of the Great Pharaoh.
Masterpiece is inside the Egyptian Museum.
Because he's shown with a moustache.
Yes, that's number one.
Hadn't faded. Never. Because the color was made from like vegetable extracts and the plants.
Natural in general, like fruits, vegetables,
And also the rock.
stones.
Yeah.
really, I will buy him ice cream. I will do it. I will do it for him. He is great. Really, he is great. You have to be proud of it. Because that's why he was a noble. And he wrote his own name in a cartouche, the same like the king at that time. He got married with a complete and a beautiful wife. And he has 2 kids as well. Who is the male and who is the female?
The male is the one with the
lock of
ponytail on the side,
That's right.
and that's the girl.
Yes. From the color, because he used to paint the women in white color, yes. And also because of the look of hair. Signs that he was a
Everything at the museum is absolutely incredible, and it's just staggering to think that people thousands of years ago crafted these artifacts. That's a huge statue of Pharaohs. These are the negative confessions here, right?
And the ballistic one.
And these ones. These were like offerings for them after life. So the headrest,
That's right.
the mirror,
Mirror, yeah.
necklaces.
And what about the second one?
It's also a mirror.
Yeah, but for after.
Everything they would use in everyday life.
Queen Hatshepsut was the first queen to rule Egypt?
No,
Yes.
there were many before. There were about 5 or 9.
Great. We are not quite sure about the number because the ancient Egyptian kings used to erase the name of queens. But the first queen to rule Egypt, Queen T, was 3000 years BC. During the old kings. After Queen T, 6 or 7 queens ruled, and maybe she is number 8 or 9 to rule.
Among all the statues for Queen Hatshepsut and Thutmose III is the tomb for the Apis bull, which has been reconstructed here block by block. This is beautiful. They would select one bull, and this bull would be made to be a god. They would worship it, and when the bull died, the whole country went into mourning, and the bull was mummified exactly like the pharaoh. And each of these Apis bulls were actually given their own tomb. It seems that news had spread pretty fast about my trip here in Egypt, so naturally there was a lot of selfie taking, and even Noor couldn't resist joining in. The Sphinx of the mighty Queen Hatshepsut is quite an imposing image, although beautiful, but something that you do notice is that she is wearing all the same regalia that the pharaohs would wear, the headdress and even a fake beard. See the ivory with the hands? Venturing deeper into the museum, we were now entering the Amarna period, the period of an infamous pharaoh who relocated the capital city. Akhenaten. This strange-looking king erased all the other Egyptian gods and only worshipped one god, the god Aten. For Akhenaten, this is his coffin. Usually, all Egyptian kings were shown in a perfect form, yet Akhenaten was the first one to show himself as he actually was. He had 4 children and was married to Queen Nefertiti. He was the only king to show his everyday life, including an amazing statue of him kissing his daughter Ankhesenaten, or later Ankhesenamun. Akhenaten was the only pharaoh to show in his pictures his everyday life, like kissing his daughter, kissing his wife. Yes. That's why they were very strange. Akhenaten's father was Amenhotep III, and the son of Akhenaten was Tutankhamun, who later changed his name to Tutankhamun, the most famous person from Egypt. This is Tutankhamun's outer shrine where they would store the body inside, or the coffin. This famous pharaoh set out to correct what his father had done. He reinstated the god Amun and changed his name from Tutankhaten to Tutankhamun, the living image of Amun. This statue of Anubis, the god of mummification, was one of the many objects found in Tutankhamun's tomb, discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter. The mystery of Tut's death has never really been solved, but the theory that I like to believe was that he fell off his chariot during a hunting accident. When Tutankhamun died at the age of 19, everybody was so happy because that meant that it was the end of the line for the Amarna family, that they took all the artifacts from Akhenaten and Nefertiti and Tutankhamun and put them all in his tomb. That is the reason why there were so many artifacts found remaining in his tomb. You see here, this is my bracelet that I bought when I was at a market in Vienna, and it is the same cartouche as Tutankhamun, and it's actually Neb Kefre Ra, which is the follower of Ra, but it's another name for Tutankhamun. I love wearing sandals, as you can see. I always wear different kinds of sandals. And a really nice thing here is Tutankhamun's sandals. Here's Hathor, which is the cow goddess. On this one here, we have Tawaret. Tawaret was the hippo goddess who was meant to help with women's fertility and protecting unborn children. And then over there we have Sekhmet, which is the lioness who was the protector. And these are Tutankhamun's beds. This is where he would have slept. It's amazing that these things have been preserved for so long. Tutankhamun's treasures are truly spectacular, and the most spectacular of all is his solid gold death mask, which has made him the most famous face in ancient history. Though another tomb was found intact after Tut, yet few people know about it. And I am about to meet the king that has fascinated my imagination, a pharaoh that few people know about. Pharaoh Susanes. His tomb was discovered in 1940 in the city of Tanis, almost 20 years after the discovery of Tutankhamun. This discovery was made by Pierre Montet and is one of the only tombs found completely intact. Unfortunately, this pharaoh's story was never told because of World War II. Susanes died at the age of 80 and ruled Egypt as pharaoh and high priest for 47 years. He is more commonly known as the Silver Pharaoh due to the silver sarcophagus of Horus and the silver sarcophagus in the form of himself. Susanes was a direct descendant of Merenptah, the son of Ramses the Great and Queen Nefertari. It's incredibly windy at Saqqara, and if you listen carefully, it's almost as if the dead were trying to speak to us. The step pyramid of Saqqara is the final resting place for Pharaoh Zoser. It was constructed by Imhotep, an advisor, an architect, and a doctor to the pharaoh. This was the first ever hypo-style hall built in the world, as well as the first ever pyramid built. These cobra figures on the enclosure wall have been staring out for over 5,000 years, protecting the tomb of the pharaoh. Saqqara was home to the world's first ever dream interpreter, and many of the dream interpretation books that we have today were based on the notes that we found of his. For many years now, architects have been trying to repair the step pyramid as it's collapsing in on itself. It is actually too dangerous for anybody to go in at the moment. This courtyard was where Pharaoh Zoser would celebrate his jubilee and show his strength to his country. Many years ago, the amazing Shania Twain came here to Saqqara, and she shot her music video in this exact hall for The Woman in Me. So being here and seeing the music video, everything is just, it's really all coming together now. So it's really quite amazing being here at the oldest place in the world where the first pyramid was ever built. We're now on the train going from Luxor to Aswan, and while waiting I thought that I would just tell you guys about, there's a lot of stories about the Egyptian creation myth. There's many different versions, but the one I like the most is about Isis and Osiris. These two were brother and sister, and Osiris became the god of the underworld, and Isis is the goddess of beauty and motherhood. They got married, and then while they were married, their brother Seth got jealous of Osiris, and he killed Osiris, and he cut his body into 13 pieces, and he threw the pieces all over Egypt. And Isis traveled throughout Egypt looking for the body parts, and she put his body together, and she got Anubis to help her resurrect Osiris. And there was only one problem. There was one part missing from Osiris. The important part to make a baby. And so she crafted one out of wood, and she was the first story in history of a woman getting pregnant spiritually. And her child that she gave birth to was Horus, and Horus became the god of the pharaohs, who would protect the pharaohs, and he's depicted as a falcon with a crown, the northern crown and the southern crown, white and red crown. And yeah, that's the creation that I like to believe. So these two are very important in Egyptian history. Finally, we've arrived after a very long ride in the train here in Aswan, which is the hottest city in Egypt. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm sitting here by the Nile at my hotel and getting ready to go out on a boat on the Nile later this afternoon, so should be really so much fun. Thank you. Hi. Nice to meet you. Hi. Travis. Nice to meet you. The longest river in the world starts, I'm not quite sure where. I like to believe it starts somewhere in Zambia. Other people believe Ethiopia, but this is truly the most amazing river in the world. And without this river, we would not have Egypt. Everything was possible because of this river that I'm on right now. Along the river, you can see the remnants of the tombs of the nobles in Aswan. During the time before they had the high dam here in Aswan, this area had tons of crocodiles because of all the little rocks they could hide in the little caves. So we just saw a sign now saying beware of crocodiles, but obviously that's not the case now. But standing here on the boat, looking at the Nile, you can see all the influences that the ancient Egyptians would have seen. All the animals, all the birds, the plant life. I mean, the reeds that we're seeing here are the same reeds that they depict in hieroglyphs. So you really get a sense of what they would have been feeling a long time ago. Why are they burning on the side of the river?
That place is very, very dangerous place. We have let it be like that.
Yes.
Some snakes and some scorpions.
Snakes and scorpions.
Because that they Medinet and they just in Luxor, they take and like
I can still see the smoke there. Current is very strong, Sam. Current is very strong. After the beautiful 4-hour journey up the Nile, we have reached the Nubian village where it's time for lunch. So that's the Nilometer where they would measure the level of the Nile. After a 3-hour drive in the car, getting up at 4 a.m. this morning, we've finally reached something that I've been waiting a long time to see, Abu Simbel, the temple of Ramses the Great and his amazing wife Nefertari. So I'm so excited to see Ramses' temple, but more excited for the temple of Queen Nefertari. So let's go.
children. You know that.
And
Had
Nefertari was his favorite wife.
exactly.
His first wife.
Exactly. Yeah. As you know, that Ramses already built the small temple
Yes.
as a gift
For Nefertari.
for Nefertari.
He loved her so much.
Exactly. And why? I just have one question. Why Ramses chose that place to build?
Because this was the border with Nubia.
Exactly.
And
you are
this-
very smart. Exactly.
These
Yeah.
temples, when they came on the boats from
Yeah.
Nubia, they would see the temples and they would see Ramses looking at them, and they would get scared. He wouldn't want. He wants them to know you are in Egypt.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. But in here, a lot of Egyptians even didn't know anything about our history.
Yeah.
This is the problem. And when I'm just here, we have it. A lot of people who live in Aswan didn't even come to
They don't
Abu
even
Simbel.
know.
Know anything about who's Abu Simbel, who's Ramses, where Abu Simbel temple. When I found someone that's already not from Egypt and know a lot of this information, it's making me very pleasure, really.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ramses the Great ruled longer than any other pharaoh in Egypt, and he ruled bigger, better, and built the most out of any other pharaoh in history. When Abu Simbel was discovered by Giovanni Belzoni, the entire place was buried under sand, and it took an entire year for them to excavate and actually get inside this amazing temple. See here next to these amazing statues of Ramses. There at his leg is his queen Nefertari, his favorite queen, and we're going to go have a look now at her temple. So follow me. And you're greeted by the temple for Nefertari. I am so excited to see inside, and yes, this is his lovely wife, his queen. Her name Nefertari means the beauty of beauties, and above the door is the inscription saying Nefertari, for whom the sun shines. So let's go see what the sun is shining on inside. Inside this beautiful temple are amazing reliefs of the love story between Nefertari and Ramses. They fell in love before Ramses became pharaoh and were shortly married after that. Even though he had 200 wives, Nefertari was still the love of his life. A sad part of the story is that Nefertari died at the age of around 30, and she was too ill to even go inside her temple. Although in these statues of Ramses, because this is a temple dedicated to him, Nefertari is only shown up to his knee. On this side, we have Nefertari's temple, and in these statues here, she is depicted as slightly taller than her great king, husband Ramses II. The crown makes her taller, and she's slightly a little bit taller. That is to show her importance in Egypt, and that how much he loved her, that he would show that she's that important. It's so difficult for me to try and explain why I have such a strong connection to this amazing queen. Nefertari was such a strong woman, ruling alongside her mighty husband, making so many decisions about the country. This won't be the last time that my path will cross with Ramses and Nefertari. As I prepare to go back to Luxor, I leave them watching out over the Nile, where they have been guarding this amazing country for thousands of years. We have just come back from Abu Simbel, and I would like to just tell everybody a little bit about the history of this amazing place. Because of the rising flood levels of the Nile, the temples were in danger of being flooded, and they cut every inch of this amazing temple into 16,000 blocks. And from those 16,000 blocks, they relocated it to another place higher up so that it would be protected from the water. How they are rebuilding it. Here's the columns, lowering everything into place, exactly how it was. They even reconstructed the entire mountain. They made a big dome out of metal, and above that they put the rocks to recreate the mountain so that it looks exactly the same. And they repositioned it. Instead of just raising it up, they had to reposition it to another place, because on 2 days in the year the sun shines directly through and it hits the statue of Ramses, and it's meant to be on Ramses' birthday and the day that he died. You can see here is a picture of how it used to look, with the river running exactly so close. The light would come through at the end of the temple and hit the statues: Ramses, Amun, Ra, and Osiris. This is the very famous Valley of the Kings. Unfortunately, there is strictly no pictures or video allowed inside this valley unless you pay something like 10,000 Egyptian pounds. But we've just seen it. It's absolutely amazing. So I really suggest coming to see it. We've just saw Tutankhamun's tomb and many of the others, Ramses IV. Everything here is so amazing to see. The paint, it's just incredible. As we leave the Valley of the Kings with the naturally formed pyramid, we go to an area under high security where very few people have ever been or even heard of before.
Welcome to Valley of Baboons, where we do have a very beautiful tomb. We're going to see the tomb of I, where we do have a very beautiful goddess. Her name is Merit Sigrid. Her name means the one who loves silence. That's why you can easily notice here
It's silent.
nothing but silence.
You can hear the echo. Yeah.
Can you hear the echo? I, he is the high priest of Aton, or the high priest of Amun, who succeeded to rule Egypt after the boy king Tutankhamun.
This tomb that we're about to see, it's very special because this tomb should have actually been where Tutankhamun was buried. Am I right?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Because we just saw his real tomb. It's absolutely tiny.
Compared to the one we're going to see.
Am I right in saying that when Tut died, he wanted to take the throne so quickly, he rushed the mummification process.
He did.
And he put Tut into a tomb that was not complete.
And even it was not for him at all.
Yes.
So we do believe the tomb for Tutankhamun, where it is right now at Valley of the Kings, should not be for him at all.
He should be here.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. That's why they decided to close the chapter. That's why they decided Tutankhamun story going to be finished.
Forgotten.
That's
but it's
right.
not. It's the most famous story from Egypt.
He had really survived, and his name had survived until now, and no doubt that he's more powerful and strong by his reputation, because his tomb is the only tomb had been not found. That is the main reason. And we call it Valley of the Baboons because the natural formation of the mountain, it's just to have the shape of little baboons, especially those ones on the top. Can you see that?
There's absolutely no tourists here. It's just us right now. It's very special.
No doubt. come and visit Egypt.
I've been given permission to open the tomb of I myself with the key.
Let us explore.
I heard you have to let the Egyptians go first so they can take the curse.
We are blessed, so we have no any curse on this tomb.
Nothing on this too.
Nothing on this tomb. And I'm going to be the opener of the doors.
Yes.
The Ubwawat.
Anubis.
Ubwawat, one of the manifestation for Anubis. The opener of the door. To open all those closed doors and escort you to the journey of humanity. Escort you to the journey of human being. Imagine the method of like light
With just a little lamp.
That's right. This is the burial chamber, and this is the beautiful coffin, which is made like from one single piece of stone, red granite. And you can easily still enjoy the lid. And you can imagine with me how many could open this huge lid. For those goddesses, one of them, she is Isis, with her beautiful wings. She is securing and protecting the high priest eye. And you can even still see a good amount of coppers and a good amount of hieroglyphics had really survived. The scarab, the dung beetle over there, is one of the manifestation for the sun.
The paintings are very similar to the paintings inside Tutankhamun's tomb.
That's right, even the baboons, and even whatever like a valley of the kings and the tomb of Tutankhamun is repeated once more here, where you can still easily see those baboons really. 6 and 6, 12, and those 12 baboons, they refer to the 12 hours
In the day.
on the day, or the 12 hours in the night. You can easily still see the idea that is when you walk to heaven, up the heaven, or you stairways to the house of God. Egypt is heaven and heaven is Egypt.
Exactly.
So imagine with me we are in heaven.
And you can see the ducks with the lotus and
The geese is, the king is hunting. Can you see this beautiful?
Yes, he's
with
catching.
with the scroll of papyruses. Can you see this beautiful? Even the stick. Can you see the stick? He's
stick is a
holding.
snake.
Yeah, the stick has the beautiful decoration of the snake of Egypt, really. But you can notice that there's most of the cartouches, most of the names of I had been chiseled out.
Why?
And this is one of the main reasons, because lots of people discovered that his eye, he was not the right person to be on this tomb, as well as to be ruling Egypt for that moment. So
It should have been her head.
that's right. That's why it is
Upper Egypt.
Bravo, South. And the second one,
Lower Egypt.
bravo, well done. And this beautiful offering table, which is full of beautiful, different type of bread.
This tomb is like 3,000 years old.
That's right. That's right.
To be standing here looking at these things is incredible.
She's goddess Hathor,
Hathor,
the goddess of beauty and music and dance. She supposed she's blessing and she's touching this beautiful king eye, and you can still easily see her name on the top.
that is not Howard Carter's house as you've been told before. This is actually Howard's house, and we are about to go inside to see where the man who discovered Tutankhamun lived for the rest of his days.
I'm sitting right now at the same desk that Howard Carter would sit at to write his letters to Lord Carnarvon about his discoveries, about getting funding to discover the tomb of Tutankhamun. And of all the shrines, and inside the coffin with the 3 inner coffins, and inside the innermost coffin is the mummy of Tutankhamun.
In 1922, after many years of looking, Howard Carter stepped inside the tomb of Tutankhamun, where he saw wonderful things.
This is the same camera that Howard Carter used to take the pictures to document every piece that he found inside the tomb of Tutankhamun. Tut's tomb was the first tomb ever found to be intact, and really is the most famous of all the finds in Egypt. So to stand here, this is where we saw the first images from the tomb come out of this exact camera here. This is where, it's actually a dog house. Inside Howard Carter's house, here's the little house for his dog called Susie, and this is where she would sleep. So, and she was a Jack Russell. Yeah. So that's Susie's house, inside Howard's house. My friend Ahmed has allowed me today to do some shopping here in Luxor, but we're doing it a little bit differently. I've been given the chance to have my name made into hieroglyphics on a cartouche, and we're going to be sitting in the car shopping because they don't want me to get hassled when I go into the store, into the markets. So these are some of the options that you have for when you want to get your name made into a cartouche. So these are all the different styles that you can choose from. It's absolutely amazing. This is a pretty different way to shop. I'm getting everything brought to me. I'm waiting for some necklaces. So this is really great. I think I will go for 17. I really like that one. I want to go for 35. I don't know, I can't choose. Like that. This is brass. Brass. We're going on a traditional Felucca, which is a sailboat. Let's go. Our guide Amr just lost his phone in the Nile. He just dropped his phone. At this part of the Nile at the moment, it's about 20 meters down and about 300 meters wide. behind me there is the Valley of the Kings. And actually it's not just one valley, there's the Valley of the Kings, Valley of the Queens, Valley of the Nobles, and as you've seen, Valley of the Baboons. And what you can notice here is on the east bank we have the living, and on the west bank, as the sun sets, is the land of the dead. Inside the most beautiful tomb here in Egypt. It is the tomb for Queen Nefertari, the queen of Ramses II. I am so overwhelmed being in here. I have been waiting so long to see this. The god of writing, the god with the ibis head, showing that she can read and write hieroglyphics. She was a very intelligent woman, a very beautiful woman. This is a closed tomb to the public, so I am so happy that I've been allowed access to come in here on my own, and I have a little offering for Queen Nefertari, so I think I'm going to give her a little flower. Nefertari truly was the most beautiful woman here in Egypt. For me, I am so overwhelmed to be in here. It's amazing. Something interesting you'll notice is that in her tomb, there's not one depiction of her husband, Ramses II. And I like to believe that she is shown on her own here because Ramses loved her so much that he wanted to pay tribute to his great wife by dedicating this tomb, this incredibly magnificent tomb, to Nefertari.
We are in the Valley of the Nobles where we are right now.
Yes.
And you are invited to see this beautiful scenery just around the whole area where we are right now.
Valley
the whole
of the Kings is on the other
Valley
side.
of the Kings just on the other side, and Valley of the Queens is just a bit further that way, as well as behind it we got Valley of the Artisans.
Speaking of artisans, we've gone to visit a village where they use the exact same techniques that the ancient Egyptians would have used to create their art. I even had to give it a try.
This is Hatshepsut's temple.
Hatshepsut. Ancient Egyptians were talented on choosing the names for their kids very carefully because they believe by understanding the name or giving your child a good name, your child will be a good boy. Yes. And the best example for that is Tutankhamun,
Living image of
the true living image of Amun. Hatshepsut, she's one of 7 ladies had succeeded
she was a pharaoh.
to rule Egypt, but she dressed as a king, as a man, as a pharaoh.
She was a very strong woman.
No doubt, no doubt. But where we are right now, we can easily say love is supreme because this unique construction had been made by love.
A man who was in love with her built it for her.
That's right. Ruling Egypt by a very peaceful. She did not really.
She let her stepson, Tutmosis
The third.
III, do all of the war and everything. She
You're
put him in
absolutely
charge.
right.
She ruled the
Searching.
country and he defended it. Many years ago, Egypt was a very different picture, am I right? It was,
No doubt.
It was not so, there was not so much desert, it was a bit more green.
During the
there
flood.
were animals and
During the flood season, we do believe there a good amount of irrigation canals had reached very close to where we are right now to irrigate.
There
those
used to be a
lands.
canal running in the front of her temple here.
Even if you look over there, you can still easily see some of the greenery had survived until now.
As you can see, this temple for Hatshepsut is one of the most popular attractions with all the tourists. So we've come at a very good time where there's not so many people, as you can see.
To the side of this temple is an area where Hatshepsut would go to worship the god of mummification, Anubis.
The ceiling is still perfect.
This is a very unique temple, as Anubis was the leader of the dead. He would guide you in the afterlife, and he was also in charge of weighing your heart.
This is a statue of Horus, am I right?
Horus. Horus, he's the
Protector of the
king.
pharaohs.
He's the Horus. He is the son of Osiris. And Osiris, he's the person will give the king and give all human beings in the ancient
An
time
afterlife.
the boarding car, the boarding pass to go to heaven.
In my opinion, Habu Temple is the most beautiful temple in Egypt. It was built by Ramses III and is also known as the Temple of the Birds. Due to the large amount of birds that live there, some people see it as a message from the spirit of the pharaoh.
Amir, this temple is for Ramses III.
That's right. Ramses III, where we are right now, is mortuary temple. His soul temple. Ramses III, we consider him, he is the first man had a navy in the ancient time.
They would sail
No doubt. Not
across
only
the Mediterranean.
across the Mediterranean, even across the Red Sea. And we do believe that is one of his wives in some stage had poisoned him.
I heard that she brought a snake into the royal palace, and she made the snake bite him, and that's what killed him.
One of the series, that's right, she brought a cobra, an Egyptian cobra, and she asked for an Egyptian cobra, and she got this Egyptian cobra to be entered the palace by a way or another, and she succeeded to leave this cobra free on his bedroom, and actually he had been murdered, he had been killed. Ramses III temple is a victory temple, that's why you can still see this beautiful scene. He's riding his chariot. By the way, camels had never ever been to Egypt before.
Camels are not from Egypt. They were originally using horses.
That's right, horses and donkeys. That's why we have no any scene
With a camel.
in our hieroglyphic showing a camel. We have a good amount of scene showing horses. We have a good amount of scene showing donkeys, even elephants, but we have giraffe as well, monkeys.
No, Nefertari's tomb, there was a peacock
That's right, which is one of the best
to
places.
show the beauty.
That's right, that's right.
So we are here now at Luxor Temple,
Luxor temple,
which is one of two temples in the city of Luxor.
one of the main temples in Luxor. In Luxor we do have two main temples. One is Luxor, where we are right now, and the second one, which is Karnak, which is 2.5 kilometers away from where we are right now, whereas Amun-Ra, the creator god, used to come and visit where we are right now, visit his wife, Mut, M-U-T, once a year.
And this is where they would have the procession for the festival, where they would bring the boat down with the statue of Amun in for all the people to see.
No doubt where we are right now, that was the end of the journey, but the festival itself had been inside the temple where we are heading later on. But this big festival used to be named OPT, when Amun-Ra came and enjoyed his beloved wife for 10 days, 9 nights. Lots of singing and dancing and burning incense, lots of Darabukka players, everyone who's involved on this beautiful meeting. Allow me to say Mut, M-U-T, she is the main source for word Mutter in German, mother in English, mama in all the languages. So Amun-Ra, the creator god, came to where we are right now. The founder of Luxor temple, where we are right now, is Amenhotep III,
Father of Akhenaten.
Thank you.
Akhenaten, father of Tutankhamun.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Allow me to say we are expect one day we will invite everyone to come to where we are right now to enjoy this beautiful road, which is going to be finished hopefully by 2020 for those avenue sphinxes from here to Karnak temple, 2.5 kilometers
Of sphinxes.
That's right, that's right.
And this temple over here was built by, like we said, Amenhotep III, but it was originally built a bit, it was extended by almost every pharaoh, but mostly Seti I and Ramses II.
Even Hatshepsut.
Even Hatshepsut.
Even Hatshepsut, she had built here 3 shrines, one for Amun-Ra, and the second for Mut, M-U-T, and the third for Khons, which is the son of Amun and Mut. Even Alexander the Great, 332 BC, he came and he had built a beautiful shrine where we are right now. Try to say, once my mom slept with Amun-Ra and me was the result. And you can imagine
the son of Amun.
every Greek and Roman king came, succeeded to rule Egypt after him.
Because every country that came and invaded Egypt, instead of them changing Egypt changed them. They took on the religion, they took on the culture, and Yeah, that shows you how powerful the ancient Egyptians were with their culture. So
No-
it would change the invaders.
No doubt, when the Greek and Romans had came to Egypt here, they knew that the Egyptian culture is very strong to clash with, and the Egyptian religion is so tolerant to deal with. So they discovered the best way to rule this country, you have to join them. And the best way to join them, you have to be approachable to them. And how are you going to be approachable?
You become one of them.
Thank you so much. It's what's happening nowadays all over the world. If you really would like to invest in any different country, you just to go there and try to be one of the locals. And that is exactly what every invader came to Egypt, did exactly what the Greek and Romans did.
Is it true that there are actually more obelisks in the rest of the world from Egypt than there are remaining in Egypt?
No doubt, we do have more than 27 obelisks outside Egypt. Even in Egypt here, we still have only 9 of them. But you can imagine with me, in Rome, we do have approximately 22 obelisks
From Egypt.
from Egypt. We have one in France, we have one in Central Park, New York, we have 2 in England, one by the River Thames, and the second one in one of the private museums, and we have even one in Turkey, next to Hagia Sophia Mosque as well, the Blue Mosque. So you can imagine with me, the obelisk itself was the first landmark, because the top part of the obelisk is to be covered.
The sun.
Covered with gold and silver. Gold to reflect the sun during the day, and silver to reflect the moon. Nowadays, how I can recognize over there is a mosque or over there is a church? The best way, I look for the minaret, the crescent of the moon, the cross. So the obelisk is the first landmark in history.
Here we can see Ramses II smiling out at everybody. What I love about this statue is not just the amazing statue, but here, on his knees, right next to him, is his amazing wife, Nefertari.
Nefertari,
Holding his leg.
she's blessing him, she's supporting him, and again, she's giving him the strength and the power. He really needs to make sure he put his feet over his enemies. And he's lucky because happy, he is really tied for him the lotus and papyrus. What an amazing statue.
This is cartouche.
That's right, and actually always the king got 2 names, when he born and when he got the throne. When he born we call him Ra, which means son of the sun. So anytime you see disk of the sun in hieroglyphic is Sarah. That's right. Remember it was one of your friends back home, she is named Sarah.
Yeah.
But without an H, S-A-R-A. And the second name for him is Nisut, Biti. Nisut,
So they would be,
Biti.
a B was B.
That's right, and this is one of the amazing things in the ancient Egyptian language. It had survived until now.
Yeah.
And actually here is another beautiful name of Ramses, which is Usir Ma'at, which is the goddess of truth and justice. Yeah, where you can see her beautiful feather over
She's
it.
sitting on the crown.
That's
on the
right.
throne.
And you can easily see Ra, so Usir Ma'at Ra, seated in Ra. So anytime you see one zigzag of photo is letter N in hieroglyphic, you got what I mean?
Yes.
So Usir Ma'at Ra, seated in Ra. And if you have a quick look even underneath the cartouches, you can see the enemies.
Yes.
Can you see the
Nubians
enemies?
and the Kushites.
They are African enemies,
Yes.
really.
Everywhere I go. Here's another statue of the beautiful Nefertari.
Yes, with her beautiful dress, with her fantastic details of his body as well. She looks so slim and sound as Naomi Campbell.
Naomi Campbell, exactly.
Can you imagine this? So this is our modern Naomi Campbell.
She's
the modern Nefertari.
She's a supermodel in Egypt, right?
She is she's blessing Ramses II again with her beautiful soft top. What an amazing details in one of the unique statues. As well as another unique statue just over there. Can you see that?
And Nefertari again.
No doubt, no doubt. But if you do really look to his lips, his nose and his cobra, He's more than that. He's more than that.
At the back of the statue, we can see here Nefertari holding Ramses on the shoulder.
This biblical country was home to Jesus for 7 years, and even inside Karnak temple is a mosque, a Christian church, and a Catholic church.
So those three are the three main religions had survived until now. And what's an amazing, that is Egypt, never ever any culture or any religion came to it and fought against the one before it. So there is no any culture came to destroy the one before it.
And this is Alexander the Great.
That's right. Yeah, actually, he is Alexander the Great. He just giving like two aromatherapy jars to a moon rock, and he's like washing the phallic symbolize God. I mean, men, they got fertility. Can you see that? And actually, you can easily read the name of Alexander on the fertility. Alexander. Can you see that? No doubt, there is a good amount of graffiti everywhere from the Greeks. That's right. As well as a good amount of colors had survived. That's all. Can you see that?
This is Karnak temple.
This is Karnak temple.
Well, temples.
Temples, that's absolutely right.
How many temples are there in
29 temples.
29 temples.
62 acres of land, whereas Amun-Ra, the creator god, and one of his manifestations, a head of a ram and a body for life.
Sphinxes.
That's right. Actually, under the chin of each ram, there is a small, tiny statue for the multi-genius king, Ramses II.
Here we have an unfinished wall, actually. These walls were never finished because we're not sure, but you can see what's great. They would build mud ramps out of mud brick, and then put the brick, then put the slabs of stone, put another one, and extend the mud out. So this is great that they didn't finish it, because that now helps us to understand how they built these massive constructions. And Amir,
Yes,
what else do
brother.
we see here?
Let me back again to the two columns.
Yes.
Because actually we have three reasons for non-finished work: lack of money, or end of religion, or political seats.
Or death of a pharaoh.
His legacy, wife Nefertari,
They're just everywhere.
they are everywhere. In front of any successful man, a successful lady.
Yes.
Ladies first.
Ladies first.
She's really leading the way.
A lot of the Egyptian gods and a lot of the stories we hear was for them because they wanted to understand where they came from.
No doubt.
That was their way of trying to understand the world that they're living in.
The main reason for this culture to survive until now is understanding, because they really had see the unseen, see what nowadays as human beings we can't really see much. So they had really found out that there's a sunrise every day and set every day, and the moon becomes full moon, good moon, and finally the river Nile flood. So it's always a rebirth. So they believed I'm here for the hereafter. And we are here with Amun-Ra, the creator god, the man who had created everything on the life according to the ancient Egyptian
It
mythology.
may seem a little far-fetched, but the ancient Egyptians were not that different from ourselves. They had doctors, they had lawyers, they had courts, they had many of the same things that we actually have today. They got married, they got divorced, they would throw dinner parties, the woman would write grocery lists and go shopping. It really was the same kind of civilization that we have right now. and they too wanted to understand where they came from and tell their stories.
There are so many beautiful things that you can actually buy here in Egypt. One of my favorite things that I bought was this piece of papyrus. Papyrus is the oldest known form of paper in the world, and so on my last day here in Egypt, sitting watching the sunset at the beautiful Ashti resort where I'm staying here in Luxor, I thought I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I bought. So this is a chapter, only one chapter from the Book of the Dead, personalized for me. Initially, the Book of the Dead is meant to be around 15 meters long, so this is relatively a small piece as it's only one chapter. But let me tell you a little more about it. So, as you can see here, it's really beautiful. And on here, this is the most important part in the Book of the Dead. It's the weighing of the heart. Basically, they would take your heart, or the heart scarab, and place it on the scales, and they would take the feather of Ma'at and place the feather on the scales, and your heart either had to be the same weight as the feather, or it would have to be a little bit lighter, showing that you're a good person. And you can see here all the other gods that you have to go through. Here's Thoth writing everything down about everything you've done wrong in your life. And then it goes through. Here's Horus holding the key of life to let you into the doors to meet with Osiris, Isis, and her sister Mut. And here at the bottom they have put my name in hieroglyphics. I cannot think of a better way to end my trip here in Egypt than standing here on the banks of the Nile watching the sun go down.
I know that once in love